If not, I'll try to repeat your question so that it gets on YouTube.
Okay.
Ready? Okay. I'm Victoria Wright. I'm a senior certification officer for Department of Procurement Services. I do audit files. So I like to know who's in the room and make sure, and I'm gonna ask you, are you already certified? Because sometimes people do come to this class before they even do the certification. So if I can get your name and company, and you can tell me if you're certified.
My name is Iliana Tostano. I am certified. I've been certified for probably about 18 years.
18? With us? With the
Yes,
City of Chicago?
With the City of Chicago.
What do you do?
I specialize in Hispanic marketing, but I do marketing of all types, so buy media, handle digital.
Okay, all right. Your name and company, and are you certified?
Leonard Cathy from Cathy Construction.
Okay.
My company's a carpentry company, and I'm certified.
Okay.
I'm Shanika Pratt from Lineage Enterprises.
What's it called?
Lineage
Okay.
Enterprises, and we are certified in the,
With us? Okay.
we're new, just got our certification
Okay.
last year.
All right. So, the most important thing that I have to emphasize once you get your certification is to market, advertise, and build relationships. Now, I know I recognize Cathy Construction. I might have did your no change affidavit or something once before, but the biggest thing is to use the MBE, WBE on your advertising, on your website. There's no official MBE, WBE symbol, so you can just Google something or create something on your own, but you should put that on your website. You should put that on your business cards so that people know that they can use you as a MBE or a WBE. The other thing is you don't have to be MBE, WBE to bid. So I try to tell people, I do a lot of events, and I try to tell people the certification is specifically for if you're trying to be a subcontractor. But if you see something that's out for bid, and we're going to talk about the DPS alert, but if it's something small enough that you think you can do by yourself, you don't need the certification. Then you would be considered a prime. But if there's something that's like a $10 million contract and you know you can't do it by yourself, then that's when you want to get the relationships and get out there to see if you can get a small piece of that 10 million as a sub, and then that's when you need the certification. So you want to network, you want to attend contract and business events, and your goal is to have a face-to-face meeting. So our office, Department of Procurement Services, we do at least 2 big events a year. The Construction Summit that's always at the beginning of the year in January and February, and then we have a vendor fair in May or June that covers all aspects of contracting. So the construction fair, we try to do that early before construction season starts. But I try to tell people just because it says construction doesn't mean that you shouldn't be there. Because depending on what you do, that doesn't mean that somebody in that room can't use your services. And it's not just going to the tables to talk to the agencies, but you should be talking to each other. So you should be passing out your business card, you're passing out your capability statement. And so when you network, even when you go to an event with different agencies, you want to find out, can you get a face-to-face meeting with these people? Or can you get a face-to-face meeting with the prime? So you need to network and find out if you can get a meeting, because no one can get to know you over a phone conversation. You know, so I always try to tell people to, if you get a meeting, show up early, not on time, because businesses are looking for people who are ready and prepared. You should know more about that business than your own business when you get there, because they want to know that you did your homework. So if it's somebody that you are able to get a meeting with, do your homework about that company so that you can talk to them about how you can help them. So this is what I do, and this is how I can make your company better. Guess when you get the job, that's going to make your company better. But when you're talking to them, people like to hear about themselves. So when you get that face-to-face meeting, you want to be early, you want to do your research, you want to know everything there is to know about the company that you're meeting with, okay? So like I said, when you do networking events, you should have a good business card and I highly recommend having a capability statement, whether you've been in business 1 year or 5 years. You can Google capability statement if you don't know it. I'm pretty sure you know what a capability because you might create them for marketing. But you can do your own capability statement at home. You can take it to Staples somewhere and have it copied. A capability statement can be 1 page. It could be a book if you got a lot of stuff to put in it. If you have pictures, because if you're doing construction, you should always take pictures of your work. Take pictures of the before and the after. You can put those pictures in a capability statement. So when you get to an event, or if you get to a networking event or a meeting, you have a capability statement that you can give somebody that they can remember what you do. A good business card, I try to, even when I go out to events and I'm the person at the table, when somebody gives me a business card, if I cannot tell what they do from that business card, what do you think happens to that business card? It goes in the garbage. So if your business card only says Smith Company or John's Recycling, what kind of recycling? What do you do? Or the biggest thing is if it just says such and such company, but it's not telling the person who has the card what you do. It's going in the garbage because they can't remember what it is that that company does. And that person might be receiving a lot of cards that day. So always try to design a good business card. It shouldn't have so much on it that is too much on it. So that's where the capability statement comes in. And you can take your business card and staple it to the capability statement. So the business card should always say what you do. If you have a license, the license number or your license information should be on your business card. And what else should be on the business card? MBE, WBE certified. That should be on your business card, okay? And like I said, you can always Google capability statements. There are lots of them out there, and they show you different styles, and you can pick whatever style you like. Sign up for DPS alerts. So this card, and I'm assuming all of you all already get DPS alerts, right? So these come out every Monday, and we have information regarding our workshops, events that are coming up, and we try to put information about different agencies in our DPS alerts. So we are not the only ones, of course, who do events. So if we have a sister agency like the Park District or Chicago Public Schools or McCormick Place, if they're doing events, we try to put it in the DPS alert. The other important thing on the alert is the bid opportunity list. So every Monday, the bid opportunity list goes out in the DPS alert. So those are all the contracts that are actually on the street and are available to bid on. So that's how you keep up with what we have available. Then we have a buying plan that's I think it's already going out to like 13, 14, 16 months of everything that's going to be purchased between our department and at least about 8 or 9 other agencies. I think she has, yeah, the buying plan is at the top. You can get that online and the hard copy out there. But what's good about the buying plan is it's going to tell you what's going to be purchased down the line. So say Streets and Sands is going to do some landscaping on LaSalle, and the contract is going to come up for bid in June of this year. It'll be in the buying plan. If the health department needs syringes and the contract's going to come out in April, it'll be in the buying plan. So several agencies have what they're going to purchase in that book. So it's sort of like a guide for you. So the biggest thing you should do is we're transparent. So whoever had that contract all the way up until this time, that contract is on our website. So you can find the old contract, do your research, find out what did they bid, so that you have an idea of what you should bid. Okay?
Where do you find it in?
So at the top of the page, so the question was, where do you find the contracts? At the top of our website, it says awarded contracts. So if you know what it is you're looking for, you could put landscaping, you could put graphic design, and everybody who already has a contract those contracts will come up with those names of those agencies. And what I always recommend too is if you read the contract and it says it's a contract for 3 years and it's going to go out to 2021, you can call that company and say, hey, I see that you have a contract with the city of Chicago to do this. I am a specialist in this. Is there any way we can get together? What do you want? A meeting, a face-to-face, so that you can get the chance to talk to them to find out if you can partner with them. The other thing is, once you see the contract, you see that the date is going to end, you do your research on that contract, read it, find out how much they bid, so that when the next contract comes out or the next bid comes out, you'll know what area you should be in for that bid. Because you don't want to go too far. If it's a 3-year or 5-year contract out, you can't bid too far up under that because of the cost of supplies going up, and everything goes up within 5 years. So you don't want to bid under them, but you want to be as close to that bid as possible to be a competitor for that contract the next time it comes out. But the whole transparency thing is good for vendors. You can see who already had the contract. You can see what they bid, and you can always contact them to find out if you can partner with them. Okay? So you want to check websites, sign up for online notifications, and attend workshops. So just like we have DPS alerts, the other agencies have their own alerts that they send out. I know nobody really wants to be bombarded with a bunch of emails every week or every day, but if you find out an agency that you're really interested in doing business with, that's who you want to sign up with. So you should find notifications for agencies that you want to try to do work with. So we sort of went over this. Utilize your resources, check the buying plan, sign up for DPS alerts, attend these workshops, attend other agency workshops. I can't stress using BACP, the Small Business Center in room 805. So BACP is the Business Affairs and Consumer Protection Office with the City of Chicago. So if you're a new company, you have to go to them to get your license. You don't have to go to them, but it's one of the best places to go to get your business license. They assign a business professional to you. So you would see the same person every time you go there. If you have questions about selecting a location, they help you with finding a location. They help you to write a business plan. They help with startup money. They help with a lawyer. So they have a day. And you can go to their website, which is cityofchicago.org/BACP. I think they have a lawyer who comes once a week, and it's free. So that lawyer gives free law information once a week. They have they have workshops on Wednesdays and Fridays. And so they have their own schedule of workshops, really good workshops. For us older people who don't know how to use Twitter, they have someone there to help you with that, look. Because everybody doesn't know how to do social media. So they have someone to talk to you about social media, why it's a good resource to use for your advertising. So they have really good workshops. I really do recommend that you all go to their website to see what they provide. We live stream all of our workshops, DPS does. So if it's a workshop that you see on the schedule but you can't make it downtown, you can watch it on YouTube or listen to it. So the only thing is you won't be able to ask questions. If there's a class, almost every class is already on there. So it could be a recording from last month. We keep it up there so you can still watch it if you missed it from today. And of course, this room is the bid and bond room. So this is where you pick up bids. They do the live reading of the bids. I can't stress enough that if you're putting in a bid, to be on time. And I think I'm probably jumping ahead because I tell people to make sure you read all the directions of a bid, because if you are a minute late in this room, they will not take it. So the DPS website, like I said, is a wealth of information. So that's why I was talking about the transparency of all of our contracts. And so on our page, you can find the most recent news, what we do, supporting information, city data. And city data is not just Department of Procurement Services data, it's the whole city. And rules and regulations. So you're going to file the certification rules and regs, compliance rules and regs. Everything is on our website that you need to find. I think they actually had the class last week of how to navigate the DPS website. So we do auctions, and DPS is responsible for the auctions. I think if you click on that, there's a website that shows what the city is auctioning off. And then I think other departments, I know Cook County does auctions, but all this information is on our website. Contract administration, firms that have been debarred to even participate, diversity credit information, events, certification, the Procurement Reform Task Force, rules and regs, and e-procurement. So I'm going to talk about e-procurement next. So what is e-procurement? Department of Procurement Services has been moving towards electronic bidding, having everything electronic, because our department has a lot of paper, and I'm sure you all know that just from doing the application. So e-procurement is an advancement to business to government that applies digital technology to the acquisition of goods and services. Excuse me. The portal for vendors, iSupplier, will be a full-service resource for vendors and those interested in doing business with the city of Chicago. This tool will allow users to respond to bids, RFPs, which is a request for proposal, RFQs, which is a request for qualifications, view and track payments and invoices online, electronic submission of invoices. So it's sort of still rolling out because we still have to train all of our city departments to use e-procurement. I think they probably have vendors now doing certain stuff on e-procurement. I don't know what, because they haven't trained me yet. But e-procurement is rolling out slowly, so it'll be less paper down the line. So this goes back to reading those instructions and making sure you turn in things on time. So government solicitations for bids and proposals and qualifications, I'm gonna get it out, contain a lot of information and may have mandatory forms to complete. Make sure you know what those forms are. And all those forms can be found on our website in that drop down, like contract administration. Even for certification, there is a section that says forms and documents. On our page, there's a forms and documents for contract administration. So non-responsive bids must be rejected. Rejected bids increase the cost of work to the city and may result in your firm not getting the contract. It could be as little as you didn't add something right. So if you didn't add it right, you put a period in the wrong place or a comma in the wrong place, it can disqualify your bid. So we say try to make sure you check it, have somebody else in your office check it, check everything before you submit it, check if there's another contract that came out before yours to see how they wrote it. You know, all these things are available for you to, you know, if you've never done a bid, try to check all these things out before you submit your bid. So the telephone number and email address of the procurement staff assigned to your solicitation is listed in the bid opportunity list. Always refer to this person with questions. So everybody knows what the bid opportunity list looks like, right? No? Okay, I'm gonna get one because there's one right out here. So on our DPS alert, this is what the bid opportunity list is in there, but it's electronic, and if you want to pass it around. So there's a name on that bid opportunity list of an employee in our office. So if you have a question, you can call and ask the question. If it's a fair question, they will answer it. They're not, if you ask them, what should I bid? They're not going to tell you that. But if it's a question that you just don't know, like if you need clarity, on something that they asked for, they can tell you that. Construction bids usually have a pre-bid meeting. Usually all construction things, most construction things have a pre-bid meeting. That's so that construction companies can come in and ask their questions. I always recommend, especially smaller companies, even companies, like I said, who don't do construction, this is another time for you to be in the room. It's a chance for you to see who's going to be your competition. All of that happens in this room. So if they're having a pre-bid meeting, the person who was assigned on that form is going to do the pre-bid. But they're going to come in, they're going to explain the bid, they're going to explain the dates, they're going to explain everything, and then you have a chance to ask questions. But I always tell people, come to the pre-bid because it's more than just construction. A construction site could need a gate, a fence. They could need people to clean up after the construction. A construction company could use somebody to do insurance, bonding. So even if you're not the person doing the building, if you're an HR person, you might just happen to be in the room and say, hey, do you have somebody handling your payroll? It's always an opportunity to pass out that capability statement. This is what I can provide. Or graphic design, do they have somebody doing that type of work for them? So even if it's a pre-bid and you don't do construction, if you're creative and think about what can I do for this type of job, still come. Be in the room with people who can give you a piece of the pie. Make sure you know when the solicitation is due. The date and time is important. Missing information can disqualify you. A missing signature, a math error, or the failure to complete all documents can be cause for a rejected bid. So you should know about our programs and incentives. I'm not going to read every single one because it is on the PowerPoint and I don't want to read to you guys. I think all of you know how to read. And it would take too long to read all of them. But it's to your advantage to know what the ordinances are for our department, what the incentives are for our department. And that goes back to if you have a, he's giving me that. If you have cars that are fuel efficient, alternatively powered vehicles, if you're in a job where you can hire from the community, and you put that in your bid, that can help you win the bid. But you have to go through some of these ordinances and read what you need to have before you submit the bid that can help you win the bid. So small business initiative, diversity credit programs, project area residence. That just means that you're going to go do a sidewalk or something and you decide you're going to hire laborers who live in that area. That helps your bid. Like I said, the alternatively powered vehicles. I think you have, like it says, half of your fleet has to be electric vehicles. That can help you with the bid. Mentor protege program. So I recommend mentor protege programs for small businesses who are startups quite often. So and I try to tell this especially to women contractors. So if you're a woman but you don't really have a construction background, but you have the business mind but not the construction mind, you might want to find another company who could be your mentor. You're their protege. They take you through everything that has to do with construction. And you could do this in any field, really. So what did you say you do? For over 18 years. So if there was a smaller marketing company that just started, they might want to come to you and ask you to be their mentor. They're your protege, and then they are learning the job. But you do have to get it in writing. It has to be approved by a department. And we need to know what they're learning. So what could you teach them? And then hopefully, if you received a $20 million bid, you could use that protege for 10% or 5% because you taught them and you trust them because they learned from you, and that's your M or your W for your contract. So I really recommend it. We don't get a lot of them, But it's a great idea because you get to learn, and then that person does have to agree to be your mentor. So if you find somebody who's willing to mentor you, it's a good thing. Phase graduation, you all should be happy to know that as soon as you make 38 million, everybody in here is gonna make 38 million, right? And I'm gonna try to reach out to you guys when you make 38. But
I'm sorry, I want to go back to the mentor coaching program. Is there somewhere where you can find who's looking for proteges
or mentors.
or mentors?
I don't know if there's somewhere, but usually if you're looking at our certification list, like everybody who's already certified, and once you all became certified, you went on a database. So you could find a smaller company that's already in the database, or maybe they just got established, and you can reach out to them. Because I tell smaller companies to reach out to bigger companies. So I don't know if a bigger company is always going to reach out to a smaller company. But I always tell smaller companies to reach out to bigger companies. It's usually used for the construction field, but it doesn't have to be the construction field. Okay.
So, does the mentor, they don't have to be a WB or
No. So in the phase graduation, like I said, when you make 38 million, or you hit your SBA size standard if you're construction, you don't get put out the program right away. We graduate you out the program. So we have people who would always complain that they didn't want to come out the program. So now we graduate you, and you have a chance to let us know what your gross receipts look like, because sometimes things change from one year to the next.
So to graduate from the program is 38 million in 1 year?
That is for non-construction. For MBE, WBE, non-construction, the gross receipts cap is 38.9 million. If you're a construction, and I didn't get a chance to ask you, what's your name, what you do, and are you already certified?
Yeah, my name's Juan. I'm the director of sales for WBE.
What's the company?
Everlinks. It's an electrical distributor.
Okay,
So we work with subs
okay,
on providing them material.
okay.
And then hopefully the next couple of years she's going to mentor me to open up
Oh,
MBE
cool.
distributors, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be very cool. Okay, yeah, so that would be a good match for you to start something that you've already been working with her. So the only thing you have to do is put it in writing of what she's outlining that she's going to teach you, and then you submit it to the department. It has to be approved, and it's like, I don't know if they give you like a certain, like a year. Does it have to be a year? Does it have to be 6 months? But as long as it takes for you to learn everything you need to learn, then she could use you as a sub, and yes.
So, yeah, I think that's us partnering for the M and W on
Right.
construction projects.
Yep.
But to graduate, so graduating is 38.9
For non-construction.
non-construction.
If it's construction, you have to go by the SBA size standards.
But see, as procuring supplier, then we're not construction.
No.
So the SBA.
Non-construction would be the 38.9. Yes. And being a supplier is not construction.
So
No.
38 is the graduation.
Yes.
And you graduate from the under the W program then?
Yes.
So
So-
the SBA number is what?
It depends on the code. So the NAICS code for construction has a variety of size standards. It can go from 7.5 million, 15 million, or 36.7 million. Cassie Construction has been certified for a while, so you should know your SBA size
Well,
standard.
I was just wondering because it was a cutoff at once at 10 million.
So no, the difference is that we have a cutoff for personal net worth for construction. Non-construction, there is no personal net worth cutoff. But for construction, right now, there's a P&W cutoff at don't quote me because I don't think this is right, but I think it's close to 2.3 million if your personal net worth is at 2.3 million. So we look at both of those numbers, your personal net worth and your gross receipts in construction. In non-construction, we're not looking at personal net worth.
Is there a certain amount of years then that come, before the 38 million? 10 years?
For construction, we do it over 5 years. Non-construction is 3. Yes. So we divide it by 3 years. That's why you graduate. So if you graduate and next year all your sales went down, you would be right back in the program. So, but if it went up, then, we have to keep graduating you, which graduation means you get 75% one year, 50% the next year, 25%, and then you graduate. And you'd be surprised. We got maybe 3 or 4 who have graduated all the way out because their sales kept going up past 38 million. So, and I'm always surprised that people complain because they're making 38 million, and they still don't want to get out the program. But it's supposed to help small businesses, and we feel like once you get past 38 million, you're no longer a small business. So, exactly. That's why whenever I had this class, I'm like, everybody in here is going to get to 38 million. All of you are going to get to 38 million. So, but you would be surprised how many people complain about that number. And I think the number goes up annually. So we do a calculation, and don't ask me because I don't know what the calculation is. I'm not the one who does it. There's a calculation that the P&W goes up every year and the gross receipts. But I can't begin to tell you how they calculate that number. So I always tell people, do not stop with the city of Chicago when they're looking for contracts. Sometimes people get confused because if an agency has Chicago in their name, that they think that it's the city of Chicago. So these, and I recommend you keep these numbers, but Chicago Public Schools, Cook County, and let me talk about Cook County. So Cook County certification is reciprocal with the city of Chicago. So if you have the city of Chicago certification, you do not need to go get Cook County certification. There was a time that you had to pay the $250 for the city and the $250 for the county. You no longer have to do that. If you have our letter, Cook County will accept it. If you have the county letter, we'll accept it. The city does not accept anyone else's certification other than our own, or the county. So if you went and got state certified, if you got certified with the Women in Business Development Center or the Minority Business Council, that's great, but we don't accept it on our contracts. So that letter from them is not going to help you get a contract. So Chicago Public Schools, Chicago Park District, all of these places on this list, Chicago Housing Authority, city colleges, Metropolitan Pier Exhibition Authority, and that's Navy Pier. All of these places have their own procurement process. The secret I will tell you to get to these sites is if you do www.chicagopublicschools/procurement, it will more than likely take you to their procurement page. You get to their procurement page, sign up for their alerts. If this is an agency you think you want to do business with, you want to receive their emails. So if you put in their name /procurement, it usually takes you to their site. I think these numbers are still correct. I mean, most agencies don't change their numbers, but it's good to have if you just have a question that you want to ask them. Some of them do workshops. I know Cook County does workshops. But you need to know their procurement process. Their procurement process is not the same as our procurement process. So you have to do your homework. You have to do your research to figure out what you need to do to bid on their contracts. Utilize your assist agencies. So this is the list that was out there for assist agencies. We usually tell people, even before they get their certification, if you need help with the application, to see an assist agency. They're all over the city. Some are better than others, so you have to do your research. But even after you're certified, they're good to help with connections to different agencies. And I will tell you that most of them want you to become a member. So there might be a membership fee to join. Some of them have meetings where they have agencies actually come out and talk to you to tell you what's coming up. What are they going to be having? What kind of contracts are coming up soon? But you have to do your homework to figure out if it's a good fit for you, if it's on the north side or is it on the south side. It's a list, but you have to do your homework to decide which one you want to use. And I do recommend using assist agencies. And then if you want to pay for the membership, then, you know, it's a good resource. So more information is on, we are on social media, like I said, Facebook, Twitter, the YouTube channel, and that is, so if you keep this handout, you have the website if you want to go back and look at some of the older videos, the web streams, and then like I said, our website. Another thing on our website that I want to tell you about is the bid takeout list. So every time a bid becomes available and you come and take out the bid, or anybody comes takes out a bid, you have to leave your business card. Your business card and your information is on our website. So say all of you all were landscapers and all 4 of you came to pick up the bid. We list that on our website of who picked up the bid with all your contact information. So I used to do the class for how to navigate. I think it's up under contract administration, and it's called bid takeout list. If it's not, and it's kind of hard to explain, but you can put in our search on our website bid takeout list. Why do you want this list? One, you want to know who your competition is going to be. So if it's the 4 of you, and you want to know who else might put in a bid, now you know. The other reason, you might want to partner with somebody. So you have the list of everybody who's already interested. So it's not a cold call because you know that they're interested. So the biggest thing is knowing who your competition is going to be. And then if that competition is too big, partnerships. Hey, I do fencing. Can I do that for you? I do electrical. Can I do that for you? I do masonry work. Can I do that for you? Can we partner? Can I be a sub, or not even, if they're the sub, it's still considered a partnership because it's still a piece of the pie. So I always recommend people look for the bid takeout list and pre-bid meetings. And don't think just because it's construction that you cannot attend the pre-bid meeting. Okay?
Bid takeout list?
Bid takeout list. So every time somebody comes in here and picks up a bid, it's listed on our website. And that's what it's called. It's called a bid takeout list. And to make sure that, you know, you're checking the contracts that have already been awarded. So if you know of a company, you can do a search by the industry, or you can do a search by a name. So if you know of a company that you think has a contract, you can put that company name in. If they have a contract, their contracts will pop up. If you just have an industry, like painting, everybody who has a painting contract will pop up. So that's why I'm like, try to use all the resources that we have available to you on our website.
Will subs pop up as well?
Yes. Yes. So subs, and if it's not the sub information, it could be in the contract. So when you submit a bid, if you know who your sub is going to be, it's in there. And it has to be in there. And you can see who the subs are. So if you see somebody who's going to do all the concrete work for LaSalle Street, who are those subs? It's in the contract. So I can't stress enough, all this stuff is homework, homework, homework. You're researching who has a contract. You're researching the company before you even call them to find out as much as you can about them. Even if it's, oh, I see you went to Howard University. I went to Howard University. Or you went to U of I. Hey, I went to U of I. You know, it's that personal touch because then they know you did your homework. And people like when you know what you're talking about when you walk in the door. If you got to talk about engineering, you know, talk about that. But it's all a part of doing your homework. So now I'll take questions. So did I answer everything? Had you seen that bid takeout list? I mean the bid opportunity list?
No, I hadn't, and there is a bid with the Department of Cultural Affairs, and I don't see it here, so why would that be? Is this on the ARPA list?
That's what's on the street. So are you trying to say it's something with cultural affairs that's actually on the street right now or coming out?
No, it's out because there's a pre-conference tomorrow, the questions, so.
I'm not sure. I don't do that list, so I don't know why they don't have it on there. Let me take a look at it.
Yeah, I didn't
Or
find it.
is it the meeting before they put out the bid?
No, because I have the bid.
You have the bid. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or did the bid close?
No, it's not up until, it's due February 20-something, February.
So the actual bid information is due in February?
So it's due in February.
Okay. So I don't know. I don't make this list up.
Yeah, and I'm not, it got emailed to me, and I'm not sure, I think it was one of those, you know, where one of the conferences, one of the vendor.
Or a task order. Is it a task order? Because, so task orders are people who are already certified, and they only contact those people who are certified in that area.
Okay.
So they don't put it out to everybody.
Okay, maybe
Let's
that's
see.
why.
Well, it's a request for a proposal. It's not a bid. Yeah, so this is request for a proposal, which is you're going to the meeting, right?
Right.
So that's going to give you a chance to ask the questions of what they're looking for the proposal. So it's not a bid.
It's, okay.
Proposal.
A proposal would be different than a bid,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
So they're asking for people to give them proposals for something specific. Yes. That's why it's not a bid, it's a proposal.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if they put proposals in this because this is a bid opportunity, like things that are actually out for bid, where there's a proposal. And that's a question that you should ask tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if this is a request for proposal, do we still have to bid? Or are they just going to look at these proposals and assign it to somebody? Like, say you and I did a proposal and yours was the best. So would they just automatically select you? That's what you want to know.
Right.
Or do I?
Because there isn't dollar amounts or what they're looking for.
You're going to give them a dollar amount, right?
Right.
Yes.
That's what they're asking.
Exactly. So then are they just going to choose somebody from those proposals and those dollar amounts, or is it still going to have to be a bid? Which I don't think it is, because that's why they're having you submit those proposals.
Right, 'cause John Court did us like that. We do the proposal, and the amount of dollars they want, they choose the one that they want.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not a bid.
No, no.
So say you and I had almost the exact proposal, and I came in $1,000 less, then they might give it to me because I came in $1,000 less.
So is there a way to find out if it's
What's it for?
for digital advertising?
Digital advertising. So you might want to do a search on our website for digital advertising and see, does somebody already have the contract, and what did they submit as their proposal, or what was included in the proposal. So that's giving you the homework of it. And they have these digital signs now. So you read it, I didn't read that.
Yes.
So
No,
you would have
it's
to.
only a page of what they're looking for. Most
Okay.
of it is.
That's why you go to the meeting, so that you can ask questions. and find out what they're looking for. And if you can do your research tonight and look up, is there anyone that already has the contract and what it is they're providing, and you come up with the greatest idea that, you know, comes in at the lowest dollar amount, and it's not a bid. I think whoever's on their team will select. So that's why it's not on this list.
But this book, and this book here gives all the jobs that's coming out or the jobs that's already out.
Yes,
So they haven't been bidded on,
right.
right? So just like each department, like aviation, right? So would you have to contact them for this concern?
So in the buying plan, it's an estimated date of when a bid will come out. So I always try to tell people that's an estimate, because somebody might say in June of 2019, we're going to put a bid out for toilet paper.
Okay.
But then maybe they don't have the money, or maybe they ran out of money for toilet paper. So they have to push it back to September of 2019. And it might not come out in June or July, but then you have to keep checking the book. That comes out, I think, every 3 months. It might have got pushed back.
Oh.
So the department knows what they want, but that doesn't mean that it's going to come out at exactly that time. And yes, you are allowed to call that department and ask them questions. So if it said June and it doesn't come out in June, you can say, hey, I was looking at the buying plan, but something that you had in there didn't come out. Did you push the date back? So you find out, did they push the date back? And yes, you are allowed to call them and ask them. But it's not written in stone. Those dates in the buying plan are not written in stone, because anything could happen. Anything could change. So it's just giving you an idea. So if you see something that's coming in June, it gives you a chance to prepare. Did I do anybody's file? No? Good. Did one of yours?
Yeah.
Or no change or something? Okay. So, any other questions? I can get you back out in the weather before it gets too bad. Look, I gotta wait till 4:30. I think we should all stay till 4:30. What do you think? No? I think it's another class after this class, so there's another class after this class?
No.
Oh, no, okay.
And your name is?
Victoria Wright.
Right. Yeah,
I think I did talk to you on your file.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know Kathy Construct. I don't know if I did your research